Claas congratulates the Vanderloop equipment team for its well-deserved recognition. For more than 25 years, Vanderloop has been one of the leading retailers of Claas Jaguar forage harvesters throughout the U.S. We at Claas are proud to be part of the Vanderloop team.
One of the challenges with the Shortlines is a lot of them don't have any kind of floor plan. And, if you're taking a large trade, it's basically you write a check to the customer for that trade. So it's that's challenging. The interest on floor plan is challenging too when you start paying all the interest on floor plan, especially today with the interest rates they are. So inventory management is a big part of cash flow management. Right now, the paid inventory helps the cash flow because if you sell it, you can sell a piece of paid inventory. So, just the net value of the equity of the company helps. The more equity you can build, the easier, better borrowing base you have. Or so it's that part of it. The paid inventory has helped cash flow because it only takes one or two pieces to be sold in a month to make it a good cash flow month. It might not be a great profitability month, but it could be a good cash flow month. So you got to kind of balance profitability and cash flow together, and really need both. If the times are good, and in the good times and the times are good, I guess profitability is probably more important than cash flow because, and when I say good times, it's when the prices are good and the commodities are good and the farm income is good. Profitability is, my dad, I think at one time he said, we should have made a lot more money in good times. And that was in the 80s or the early 80s because the 70s were really good. But they didn't they could have made more money in the 70s to weather the storm in the 80s. So, you kind of have to, look for ways to plan for the future downturns because there's going to be downturns. It's our industry. Expansion is a heavy drain on cash flow. So as you try to grow, you need to grow within reason to be able to, support it. So you can be profitable and then try to double, and then you're just not enough cash flow to support the expense. So it's, I think growing profitably is a challenge. Growing is the easy part. Well, I shouldn't say that. Trying to get contracts these days, and they just don't give them out anymore. So, we have to, buying the building is the easy part. Getting the contracts and getting the right people is the challenge. But we figured out over the years. We had bought in one existing dealership that was a no succession with older buildings and old inventory and old parts and employees that were somewhat set in a way, and we struggled. We have much more success with, getting a contract for an open location, finding a building or building a building, and building a team. It takes a little bit longer, than a turnkey, but we really bring in our culture and values and our systems from the get-go. So it's much easier than trying to convert somebody that's been doing it this way for 20 years. Change is challenging. Actually, we had Marathon City by Wausau, which was an existing Massey contract. Okay. And we ran that for 17 years, and it was a little bit long distance to try to manage, and we spent enough time and money there to try to get it to where we wanted to, and we just couldn't do it. So when we started the Beaver Dam store, we decided to close that location and focus on the east side of the state. If we go back to central Wisconsin, it'll be somewhat probably on this side of the river. It seems to work out pretty well if our stores are about 60 miles apart, just easier to manage, and that way it's good for the customers. So the manufacturers are are looking to grow their dealership sizes, their volumes, and things like that. So, the buying a dealer that has no succession, that really isn't very progressive, doesn't really work that well. Because generally the facilities aren't what you want, and
if they had succession, they'd be investing in it.
right there wasn't much investment into the buildings or into the dealerships.